So back to negative effects of humans on the environment, which is pollution. Now, pollution is basically adding a material or adding an object that would not let water work naturally, or not let air work naturally, or not let land work naturally. So anything you add that does not allow the system to work naturally is basically pollution. Now, what is water pollution? Anything you add to water, whether objects or dirty water that comes from your houses, your factory, washing clothes in water, is basically water pollution. So, for example, plastic in water is pollution. Now, plastic destroys water, destroys the organisms that live in water, and basically does not break down and causes pollution for a very, very long time. Wastewater, any wastewater coming from homes, factory, washing, clothes washing, anything added to water and change that material of water is water pollution. Now, if you spray plants with a lot of fertilizers and they end up with water, they also will cause water pollution. Oil. In oil that drips out, oil is the material we dig out of the earth crust and we use it to make energy. However, many times the ships that transfer oil from one country to another are not maintained well. So sometimes they leak oil or they sink and they leak oil out, and this causes serious water pollution and damages living organisms, whether be it fish or birds that live in that area. What is the effect of water pollution? Well, organisms in that water dying, diseases transferred to humans. Now, what can you do to control water pollution? Well, number one, don't put waste up. Waste will end up somewhere, whether on land or in water or in air. So you put waste in bins. Make sure the ships carrying oil are maintained, built well. Build water treatment centers or water treatment plants. Do not overuse fertilizers for plants. Just use just enough for the plants to grow and not extra, so it doesn't end up in water and pollute it. Air pollution. Air pollution is basically anything you add in air and change the composition of air or change the nature of air. Where does air pollution come from? Well, it comes from aeroplane putting out gases like CO2 and sulfur oxides and nitrate oxide, car fuel burning, factory burning fuels and letting it out in air, fires, also cutting down of trees, because when you cut down trees, they no longer take the carbon dioxide and it ends up in air, which causes something called global warming. Again, burning stuff is the main source of air pollution. What is the effects of air pollution? You get some serious diseases that affect your lungs, like asthma, bronchitis, unfortunately cancer, and skin diseases. Acid rain. Now, what is acid rain is basically that when you burn fuel, it ends up in the upper parts of the atmosphere. Now, once in the upper part, some oxides that come out of burning fluid, like sulfur and nitric oxide, mix up with clouds. When they mix, they make an acid. And once the water falls down, it falls down with the acid part in it, so we call it acidic rain. Now, acid rain will destroy forests, will destroy trees, will destroy animals that live in the trees. It destroys animals that live in soil even, and also pollute water. So that's really a bad situation, and it takes a long time to be fixed. Global warming is an effect because of air pollution. What happens is the following. You burn a lot of fossil fuel. and you cut a lot of trees, you end up with a gas called carbon dioxide. When there's a lot of carbon dioxide, it does not let heat flow out in the universe or in space, actually. Now, this heat that some of it should flow out in the space is trapped on planet Earth. Now, once that happened, the heat trapped increased the temperature of Earth. Okay, that's good. That's good actually. But if it's too much, when you add too much carbon dioxide, actually, you get too much heat trapped in. Now, once you have too much heat trapped in, you call that global warming. So basically, up to point 4, okay, where you have carbon dioxide keeping the heat in, we call this greenhouse effect. Now, if you have too much of that happening, there will be an increase in Earth temperature, and that increase is called global warming. So, again, greenhouse is something natural. Too much of a greenhouse effect causes too much heat to be trapped, and too much heat trapped will increase the temperature on Earth. That is called global warming. Now, why is global warming good or bad? Again, this is a diagram showing what happened. Too much sunlight is trapped. The greenhouse effect increases temperature. We get a global warming. Now, what is bad about global warming is that it changes the weather. Some places you have ice melting. In some places you have too much rain causing flood. In some places there is no rain. So in certain areas that may be good, but in other areas you are changing a lot about the environment too quickly. So a lot of organisms are dying and losing their homes, and it can have also a bad effect on humans, causing them to lose their houses or farms or animals. Now, what can we do to prevent air pollution? We'll stop using a lot of fuel, plant more trees, and also use clean sources of energy like solar panels, and also make sure your vehicles are working properly and not producing so much fume while it's working. Now, land pollution comes up next, and that will be discussed with the rest of the chapter in the next video. Thank you for now.